Hi guys, and welcome to a new video. This time I'm going to show you guys 11 games that I felt were overlooked, 11 PS2 games that were overlooked in my opinion. People just don't talk about them. So I'm going to try and be brief because I've already filmed this video once before, and unfortunately my camera will not allow me to upload up to a certain time. So I'm going to have to be very brief, but I'll try and give you as much info as I can. The first game that I felt many people didn't really was just generally overlooked is Castlevania. This is basically one of the earlier sort of 3D Castlevania games that Konami made, and in my opinion was a successful game as opposed to the sort of lamer N64 titles. Chronologically, this is the first in the original Castlevania series. It follows Leon Belmont's, but PS2 also got a sequel, and that game is Castlevania Curse of Darkness. But this game is not actually a sequel to this one. This game is actually a sequel to Castlevania 3 on the NES. You don't play as a Belmont. You actually play as a character that was once a villain, a weapons forger, and he turns against Dracula, and it's basically sort of his story. But unfortunately, I've not had a chance to play this one that much, so I can't really go into it. But yeah, I mean, both these titles, in my opinion, were definitely successful 3D incarnations of Castlevania that was sadly overlooked by a lot of people, especially by the hardcore Castlevania fan base. Okay, next game I've got here is Guilty Gear Asuka. Now, most people have heard of the Guilty Gear series, but what makes this game so special is the fact that it's actually two games in one. It's a 2D beat-em-up, much like all the other Guilty Gear games, but it also comes with a 2D side-scroller game. It's really good. It's a lot of fun to play. It's very colourful. And also, what's worth of note is the fact that the 2D fighting portion of the game also has 4-player simultaneous play, and I can tell you guys, I've played it like that, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely worth getting, guys. Especially if you're into your 2D scrolling beat 'em ups, and of course if you're a 2D fight fan, it's definitely not one to be missed. Next game I've got here is Tengai. Now this game, my copy is sealed, but I have played this game quite a bit. It's a 2D horizontal shooter. But in this case, you play as you're not in a spaceship. You're actually sort of 4 samurai ninja type characters, and you basically fly and you take on all these sort of cybernetic, stroke feudal Japan sort of cyborg ninja robots and whatnot. Fantastic game. It's a little bit pricey. It's definitely not a cheap game. But if you find this game in the wild, guys, definitely pick it up. It's so worth it. Next game I've got here is iNinja. I don't know why a lot of people don't talk about this game. This is a really great 3D platform game. I mean, it's got great playability, great graphics. It's a lot of fun to play. Guys, definitely, if you see this game in the wild, pick it up. And it looks kiddie, but trust me, guys, it's a very hard game. It's challenging, and it's a lot of fun, though. Definitely worth owning, guys. Next game I've got here is Geo Battle Colosseum. Now, this game, I don't know why it didn't get enough hype. It's basically SNK's answer to all the Marvel vs. Capcom series and those sort of games. This is basically all the characters from all the SNK fighting games, as well as characters from Metal Slug and other SNK games, all brought together in this excellent 2D fighter. Great graphics, great playability, and it's a cheap game, guys. It's not expensive. It generally goes for about £6 or £7. So if you see this game, guys, definitely pick it up. It's well worth it. Next game I've got here is Riga. Now this game is actually a sequel to a game that was on the NES, and it's very much a precursor to the God of War games. I mean, it's an earlier title. It sort of plays sort of like a cross between Devil May Cry and God of War. God of War is superior to this game, no doubt. but it's because it's a later title. This one still has sort of like fixed camera angles, but it plays really well. It's set in ancient Greece. It's got great sort of epic boss battles. It's a fantastic game, guys, and definitely one not to be missed. Next game here I've got is Raging Blades. This is very much a 3D fighter. It's very arcadey, and it's a cheap game, guys. I got this for £2.50 on eBay. I have seen it in the wild, generally for about £2. You know, again, if you're into arcade, you know, side-scrolling beat 'em ups, it's definitely one for you guys. You know, it's just a fun, you know, two-player co-op game. Great beat 'em up, great, definitely worth getting. Next game I've got here is Evil Dead Regeneration. I don't see a lot of people talk about this game. I don't know why. It's a fantastic game. It's got great graphics. It's got a great story. It follows on from the films. And you've got a side character which you use. It's a great game, guys. It's got great playability, brilliant graphics. You know, you've got the lead actor here doing the voices, Bruce Campbell. It's a fantastic game, guys. Now there is an earlier game called Evil Dead Fistful of Boomstick. That game is fairly common. I've seen that game in most stores, but this one is not as common. But guys, it's definitely worth it. It's a great game. It plays really well. Definitely worth a look, guys. Next game I've got here is Kaya Dark Lineage. Now, there's not much to say about this game. All I can tell you is that it's an excellent 3D platformer. It's easily one of the best 3D platformers on the PS2, in my opinion. It just plays really well. It's got a great storyline. It's great graphics. Just a lot of fun to play. Solid gameplay mechanics, and you know it's not a common game either. But I actually got this for £1. So guys, yeah, definitely worth seeking out if you can find it. And lastly, guys, I've got here Final Fight Streetwise. Now, you might have heard bad things about this game, but this game is really not as bad as most people think. It's a lot of fun. It follows on from Final Fight 3. It's set a few years later. You play as Cody's younger brother, Kyle. It's sort of like plays much like the Warriors on the PS2. It's like a 3D sort of open world game where you sort of go around, you take on characters, you meet characters. It's very story based. You get to meet all the other characters from the Final Fight series. But also it does actually have a second game option where you can play as a straight up side-scrolling beat 'em up, and you can play as all the original characters as well. You know, it's a cheap game. It's definitely worth getting, guys. If you see it in a while, definitely pick it up. I highly recommend it. Don't sleep on it, guys. It's not as bad as people say. I was expecting the worst, and I came away pleasantly surprised. Top-notch game. So that's it, guys. Those are my 11 games that I felt were overlooked by a lot of people here. If you like this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And I'd love to hear your comments, so please just write one down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of the selections. And yeah, this is the end of this video, and I'll see you guys again soon.